I'm bigcal and welcome to my world. Today is another recent video games pickups video and today's theme is PlayStation 1 games. So let's get started then with the first PlayStation 1 game pickup, Nicktoons Racing. So Nicktoons Racing is of course a kart racer based on a bunch of Nicktoons cartoons. It features characters from Rugrats, SpongeBob, CatDog, Hey Arnold, Are Real Monsters and more. Some of them I know, some of them I really don't. So apparently some mystery rider decides to host a bunch of races. Who the mystery rider is, I don't actually know, because you have to play through the game for the reveal. Yeah, there is definitely fun to be had here as it is a very colourful looking racer. Decent controls, not quite the best but pretty decent. Lots of cool items that all do basic things that you would expect in a kart racer, but they're all based on things from the shows that are featured within it, so it makes them a little more interesting. Is it the best kart racer? No, but it is far, far from the worst, and of course you'll find more enjoyment out of it if you like Nicktoons cartoons. Yep, so there we go. Been after that one for a while, heard good things about it, so yeah, finally decided to pick it up. Next then, we have CT Special Forces. Believe it or not, this is not the first time I've shown this game off. In episode 47, a very long time ago, I showed this game off for the Game Boy Advance. So it is pretty much the same game here, only the visuals definitely look a lot better. But it is still just a 2D run and gun game. Similar to Contra, but a little bit of a slower pace with more exploration and platforming. It isn't that great, but yeah, it is pretty decent as well. And I don't really think I would say one version is better than the other. Depends if you want to play handheld or console. Yeah, and there are more games in this series I would like to pick up. There's even one on the Xbox, I think, the original Xbox, maybe two. And I believe there's also a sequel on the PlayStation 1. A little bit more expensive, but we'll see what we can get further down the line. Next up then, we have Guardians Crusade. So this is a pretty interesting PS1 game, as it is a fully 3D turn-based JRPG. That's right, none of that rendered backgrounds and things like that from Final Fantasy VII or whatever, but instead everything is 3D, and I believe it is the first fully 3D JRPG on the console. So you play as a knight who discovers a baby creature, and you head off an adventure. Yeah, I don't really know that much more about it because I haven't played much of it as of yet. But yeah, I'd never heard of this before. I saw it, looked into it, and it seemed pretty interesting. It was cheap, so I picked it up. And then literally, about a week after I bought it, it started showing up in YouTube videos from people who were actually popular with large audiences. So yeah, technically I bought it before they showed it off. So, or something. An interesting PS1 title, like I said, I've never heard of before, so yeah, happy to have this now. And because a bunch of actual popular YouTubers have showed it off since I bought it, a lot more people know about it now. I don't think the price has gone up that much or anything from it, so if you're interested in it, it should still technically be cheap, I believe. Yeah, so give it a go if you're interested. Let's move on now to a couple of Japanese games, and of course, they're going to be wrestling games. So this one is just looking at my notes so I make sure I don't pronounce it wrong. Shin Nippon Pro Wrestling Token I'll put the name on screen. So obviously this is a New Japan Pro Wrestling game and the third one in the series. They have done a ton of them. I believe there were 4 that were numbered, and then of course they've done a crap ton of other New Japan games in general. So I didn't play this for too long, I was just testing it out mainly for this video to make sure that the disc worked. And it was pretty easy to pick up and play for the most part. I was able to hit strikes and even various grappling moves, which for some of these Japanese wrestling games can be a struggle figuring out exactly how the controls work. And obviously with the manuals being not in English because they're Japanese games, yeah, you have to go online and look everything up, and it can be a bit of a pain just when you want to jump in and see if you can have a wrestling match. Visually, looks pretty good as well. I think the wrestlers look really, really good in the game. So this is definitely one I would like to pick up and play through some more after learning more about the controls, just beyond picking up and playing it. Just another wrestling game to add to my collection, but yeah, one that I definitely want to play through some more and see what it's like. So the next wrestling game, and this is Pro Wrestling Sengoku. Sengoku. I'll just put it on the screen. So, firstly, this is not to be confused with a game that I have showed off in the past called Pro Wrestling Sengoku, the Hyper Tag. See, this version released first, with Hyper Tag coming out a very short time after adding in tag matches. Apparently, it plays as a mix between Fire Pro Wrestling and Token Retsuden, the previous game I showed off. But I genuinely could not figure out how to get into a match with this game. I got complete and utterly lost in menus and just had no idea what to do. I didn't know where to click to just jump into a wrestling match. This is the least accessible wrestling game I think I have ever played, as I could not get out of menus. So, is this game good? Is it bad? Buggered if I know. Right, last for the Japanese wrestling games, and it's one that I can pronounce! Yay! So, this is from the Simple 1500 series, volume number 22, The Pro Wrestling. So, I already own The Pro Wrestling 2, and both of these games are based on the WWF SmackDown engine. So, yeah, it is very easy for someone like me to go into these games and play them without reading a single instruction manual, because I've played the SmackDown games for years and I know just what the hell I'm doing. So that's a big plus for it. Yeah, it isn't quite as good as the sequel, as the sequel had a ton of really crazy match types and more wrestlers and things like that. But yeah, it's still a good game as its foundation because it's based on the SmackDown engine. So yeah, the only reason that I didn't buy this before is that this seems to be way less common than the sequel. So yeah, it just took me a while to find it. A fun game, but definitely go for the sequel as it is more common and a little bit better of a game. Right, so that does it for pro wrestling games with my pickups. Yeah, so still more Japanese wrestling games I believe for the PS1 for me to get, so I am nearing a complete PS1 wrestling game collection I do believe, so that's good stuff. Right then, let's move on now to the next game. Croc 2. Despite absolutely, utterly hating the first Croc game, I did always want to try out the sequel, because it looks and controls better. But unfortunately, after playing it for a while, it's still boring. The first level I played was the most boring boat race ever. And then the next level was just the exact same stuff as the original Croc. It's just one giant meh game for me. Yeah, it looks a bit better visually than the first game, and it controls a little bit better as well, as it doesn't have those god-awful tank controls, but it still just isn't a very fun game. Yeah, better than the first, but just not worth it at all for me personally. Yeah, whatever. Right, next up then we have ATV Racers. So, remember me showing off games in previous videos called Miracle Space Race and Rascal Racers? Well, this is another racer in that series. And yes, it is as utterly dull and lifeless as they are. It looks bad, it controls bad, it is just bad. No need to talk about this game any longer. It sucks. Next up, we have Jinx. So, Jinx is a pretty forgotten 3D platformer on the PlayStation 1, mainly because it only released in Europe and in 2003. So, yeah, most people had already moved on to the next generation of systems, and nobody really picked this up at the time. While it doesn't do anything that groundbreaking, it is still a fun, colourful game that in my opinion is worth checking out. It reminds me of a mix between Crash Bandicoot and Muppet Monster Adventures. So yeah, pretty good stuff there. Not quite as polished as those games, but well worth it if you can get it at a good price. Not often that we in Europe get an exclusive game that's actually pretty good, but yeah, Jinx is a pretty decent 3D platformer. So, like I said, if you can get it at a good price, pick it up and try it out. Okay, next is Speed Freaks. So, in this video so far, we've had one very bad kart racer in ATV Racers, one average to decent kart racer with Nicktoons Racing, and now we have one very good kart racer. This is visually more impressive than most of the PS1 kart racers with very tight controls. This is definitely a worthy addition to my collection and anyone else's out there. It is a really fun kart racing game, and if you love the likes of Crash Team Racing, definitely look into getting Speed Freaks. More people absolutely should know about this game. Like I said, if you like CTR, this is another really good alternative to that game. I got it really cheap, but it seems it has gone up in price since then, but only to around £20, which obviously not the cheapest for a retro game, but still pretty decent price, and it's actually a really good game. So yeah, if you see it for a decent price, definitely grab it. It's very fun to have. Okay, we've got a couple of demo discs now, starting off with whatever the hell this one is. Let me just check my notes. So yeah, this is the official PlayStation Magazine demo disc number 46. So obviously this is a demo disc from the magazine, official PlayStation magazine. I went through a period during the original lockdown of trying to collect a crap ton of demo discs, mostly PS1. And yeah, I ended up with a hell of a lot. But this one, yeah, I didn't own, and it was nice and cheap, so I picked it up, and yeah, it's got some pretty decent games in here. KKND, which, if memory serves correct, is kind of a real-time strategy game, kind of like Command & Conquer. Populous The Beginning, which I think I played for footage of this, and I just had no idea what I was doing. It's never a game that appealed to me. Puma Street Soccer, yeah, whatever. The Grand Stream Saga, which I'll talk about in a moment actually, and a few others. So yeah, like I said, I tried Populous at the beginning and just had no idea what the hell I was doing with that. And then the next game I played was Grand Stream Saga, which is a 3D action RPG I'd never heard of. And the reason for that is probably because it is utterly awful. This has the worst combat I have ever played in an RPG in my bloody life. And I'm 37 years old. That's a lot of RPGs I could have played in that time. Absolutely terrible. Yep, so just another demo disc to add to my growing collection. Next then we have another demo disc, and this is PlayStation Demo Disc number 1. So any collectors of PlayStation demo discs out there will already know this, but Demo 1 for the PlayStation 1 can be slightly confusing as there are multiple versions of it, as Demo 1 would typically come with the system. So obviously after the console had been out for a while, they would upgrade the demo to show off newer games. And this is a version that I never had. I have the purple one currently, this is the red one, and this one has demos for Gran Turismo, Cooler World, Medieval, Tekken 3, and then videos for Metal Gear Solid, Spice World of all things, Spyro, and Crash Bandicoot 3. Yep, so it's nice to add to my demo collection, and it does have some pretty good games, a nice selection there, a lot of variety, so people loading this up would see, hey, there's lots of good games on the PlayStation 1 in all sorts of genres, so I'm definitely going to find something that I can play. Yeah. Okay, lastly then, we have 2 more games, and I got these as a bundle, but I'll be showing them off one at a time. So the first up is Pandemonium. Pandemonium is a 2.5D platformer that I remember swapping Crash Bandicoot 2 for as a kid with one of my brother's friends. Thankfully, it wasn't a permanent swap, it was just swapping games to play, and then once we're done, give them back. I absolutely hated it back then, but I decided to give it another chance after seeing such a cheap listing for it online. Since I own an X-Station now, I just loaded up a ROM of it on there, gave it a go, and found myself really enjoying it. So I bought it. The game features a creepy jester named Fergus and his puppet Sid, and Nikki, a sorceress in training. They're having fun making fireworks, but Nikki accidentally unleashes some evil entity who eats the nearby city. Yes, it eats the entire city. So they need to find a wishing well to reverse things, and off they go. It's a pretty standard 2D platformer in a 2.5D plane. Run, jump, collect things, find power-ups, kill enemies. You just gotta get to the end of stages, but there are a ton of branching paths. And I really love the visuals as well this time. Very happy to have gone back and given this another go. Oh, and Toys for Bob made this as well. Always nice to rediscover an old game that you didn't like as a kid and find something to enjoy about it now. Maybe I just sucked at it as a kid and that's why I hated it, I don't really know, but yeah, it definitely clicked with me this time around. And of course, that same cheap listing for the game also included Pandemonium 2! Now, obviously, back in the day, because I hated the first game, I never even attempted to play the sequel until now. Nikki, Sid and Fergus are back. The Comet of Infinite Possibilities is arriving for the first time in 300 years, and whoever gets to it can have a wish granted. Yeah, I guess the wishing well from the first game isn't available now? I don't know. Anyway, the game begins with you going to Goon City. I know, stay with me. On your journey to prevent the... On your journey to prevent the Goon Queen from making an evil wish. Oh dear. Yeah, the game pretty much plays the same as the first game, but has a visual overhaul that, honestly, I don't like as much. Also, like the first game, I didn't mention before, you can pick between Nikki and Fergus to play as. But here they have special sections that only those specific characters can access. So it gives you a bit more reason to switch between the characters and even go back and replay levels. I don't think this game is quite as good as the first, just in the short time I played it. But yeah, still a pretty interesting game with a hilarious story. And that's Pandemonium 2. So yeah, I don't think it's quite as good as the first one. I don't think Toys for Bob had anything to do with this one. No, I don't see their name on the back, so I think it was someone different. But yeah, it mostly plays the same. It just the visual style just doesn't do it for me quite as much as the original game. But yeah, I got both of them really cheap in a bundle, pretty much for the price of one of the games on eBay. I got it the bundle for the same price on Vinted, so I'm happy with that. Anyway, I'm Big Cal. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of my PlayStation 1 pickups. Let me know if there's any really obscure PS1 games I should look out for next time. And I'll see you again next time. Stop laughing, you prick.